Welcome to Leading Thoughts from Leading Age New Jersey. I'm Michelle Kent, President and CEO of Leading Age New Jersey. We represent and advocate on behalf of mission-based nonprofit facilities and services across the state serving seniors. Today's webcast is coming from our annual meeting and exhibition in the incomparable Bally's Hotel in Atlantic City. And I am particularly delighted to have as our guest today, Larry Minix. Larry is the president and CEO of our national organization, Leading Age. Larry, welcome to Jersey.
Good to be here, Michelle, as always.
Thank you. So Larry, you're going to be talking to the group, I know the full group, in a little while, and I see that what you're saying is that it's our responsibility to work on the images of aging. What the heck do you mean by that?
Well, we've for many years had stereotypes of older people. That has driven policy, myths about aging, like aging is a disease, or people become isolated and withdrawn late in life, and we're finding out that those kind of images of older people are just inaccurate and create stereotypes that we've got a responsibility to change. So it's no longer about shuffleboard and bingo. It's about taking on new responsibilities late in life and making a contribution to the world. And our members have a responsibility to set that stage for people to have a fulfilling time in later life, regardless of some of the inevitabilities of aging that are difficult to deal with.
I always hear the phrase consumer-driven care for aging. What do you think that means? What's it all about?
Well, what I think that means is that all of us want to have it our way. We want to be in control of our lives. There are two driving sort of human forces as we get older. We want to be autonomous and independent, don't want someone making decisions for us. And yet we need interdependence and community. Hospice care is a good example of consumer-directed and driven care. People know their situation. They call the shots. Some things work, some don't. In our care programs, it's often regulation-centered care. Got to fill out the forms, make sure you don't leave any blanks in it. Or it's this is the way we've always done it care here. So we've got to change to do it the consumer's way, because if we don't, none of us will like that as we get older. And secondly, if we don't do it their way, they'll sue us.
Good point, both of them.
Yeah.
So what that makes me think about is home and community-based care.
Yes.
And the message that we're often collectively giving to our facilities and programs that they really need to broaden the scope of the services they provide.
You bet. Their brand, if you will, sometimes we forget what we've come from 100, 150 years ago. Our members, several generations ago, responded to major changes in society driven by the Industrial Revolution and the Civil War. So you had widows and orphans homes for people that had no place to go. And over time, that became rest homes, and then the last 50 years, nursing homes and elderly apartments, all institutional kind of based. But the whole aging in place theme is now becoming front and center. Not everybody can stay at home responsibly, but the service delivery system and the financing need to follow the person, not the existing provider category. So there will be a need for institutional care. But we know through surveys of our own members, we have 6,000 of them, and you guys represent one of our longest standing state partners. 70% of our 6,000 members nationwide are doing things now in the planning or implementation stage to help people stay at home. And so they're changing, transforming their missions to respond to the consumer who says, I expect you to help me get my needs met where I want to.
Right. As a baby boomer myself, I don't think we're going to go gentle into that good night.
No.
And then you see the demands of a new generation, and I guess that's what you're referencing.
You bet. You bet.
Well, it seems to me that the most important thing for all of us to stay attuned to that is balancing. Life is always a balance at every phase, but what I see in a lot of our facilities is trying to keep together services for their current residents and yet be ready for a new generation of people who will really expect something different.
Yes, yes. I tell our members, fall in love again with the changing needs of seniors and fall out of love with your existing products. Famous last words, the recession told us this, famous last words, oh, but we have a waiting list.
Dangerous, huh?
And if you begin to look around at the growth of other kinds of businesses that are helping people stay at home, Walgreens has a strategy where they're looking at, they want to be centers of aging services in hundreds of communities in this country, because people already go there to get their drugs. Now they can get their flu shots and a bunch of other things, and they have community. I got nothing against Walgreens, but why shouldn't our members be that for people? Because they've been around a lot longer than Walgreens has.
I don't know if you'll agree with this. I mean, to me, it seems the changes now are not just incremental. It's almost a sea change.
Yes, it is.
And I wonder if you could just tell us what you think the most important thing that your 6,000 members can do collectively to thrive in the future.
First is they've got to make sure their governance house is in order. Not-for-profits' future, as well as their past, has been driven by strong leadership, both boards and executives. Secondly, they got to make sure they have their financial house in order. And that includes things like being as efficient as they can. If they don't have a fundraising program, start one. You got to pay attention. Third, we can't do this without people. Most of our members recognize that, but we've got to pay a lot more attention to the direct care staff and volunteers that carry out this work, and we've got to have as much strong measurement of human resources performance as we do financial performance as we look to the future. And fourth, you got to be willing to experiment. This era lends itself to experimentation, to take your brand and extend it beyond your walls rather inexpensively. You don't have to borrow a lot of money to say, let's try a 3 square block neighborhood extension of what we do and see how it works out.
That's a very interesting point, the willingness to experiment.
Yes.
So it can no longer be just relying on doing the same old,
Yep.
and thinking you will get the same sorts of results.
And government won't solve the problem. We've got to solve the problem.
I see that. And I think that collectively and under your leadership, you'll help get us there, Larry. So thank you so much.
You bet. I'm getting old. You younger folks have got to figure this out, Michelle.
Again, our guest, Larry Minix, President and CEO of Leading Age. Thank you for watching this webcast, and please know you can follow us at our website, www.leadingagenewjersey.org, or follow us on Twitter @LeadingAgeNJ. Thank you.